All right, no intro, no music, no nothing. Y'all already know it's going down. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shah. This your brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Breaking news. Is it really breaking? Most of y'all already been hearing. If you woke up this morning and you got text or you got notifications, you know what happened, right? So we see what's going on. No more rumors. No more rumors. Wartime has began. U.S. and Israel has made their move and launch strikes on Iran. We've been talking about it for a long time now, and here it is. Here it is. And how many times have I been saying? I told our chat group earlier that Agent Orange and his constituents love to do their dirt invasions and bombings on the Sabbath. You know, and here we go with another one. They did the same thing with Maduro. Uh, that whole collusion that happened with uh, uh, October 7th. That was on the Shabbat. There's been a number of different examples where we see that this has happened. All right. If I'm coming in clear, man, everybody can acknowledge and hear what I'm talking about. Throw a 7 in the chat for your good brother. Would you do that for me? Because we got a lot to deal with. We got a lot to deal with. You know, if I'm coming in clear, drop a 7 in the chat. Do me that solid, would you? I'm about to log in myself and see. Okay, so far I see some 7 in the chat, man. All praises. All praises. Good deal. Good deal. All right. So look, let's I don't want this to be a marathon, but we gotta let the spirit ride. All right. Look, uh let's look. Okay, let's start here. We're gonna start at Matthew 24, right? And we'll read verse 3. Okay. And it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So what we have to acknowledge is, let's not consider this the end of the world, like the whole world is going to blow up. It's going to be the end of everything that we see, everything that we've known. No. What the scriptures is acknowledging. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me turn this down because I got my looks like this little internet is tripping again, freezing up on me. If I'm frozen to y'all, like I am with my connection, throw a 3 in the chat for me. Let me double back over here. Did I freeze up on y'all at all? Okay, I do see that was frozen. Let me try again. You damn internet boy, I tell you. Okay, let's try it again. Just in the event that there's any issues. Okay. Looks like I'm moving okay now. All right. Let's start again. Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So what they was acknowledging wasn't the end of the earth, the existence of all of the world that we see here. The world here, let's look at it in the Greek. The definition or the translation of that world, the term world. Hold on. What happened? What the heck happened? No, I want verse 3. Shalaki, y'all. This thing is tripping. Okay. Let's scroll on down. And you're going to see the word ion, right? G165. And what we're looking at is an unbroken age or perpetuity of time. So we're talking about an age or a time. It's going to be the end of a particular age or end of a time. not the physical world itself. Okay. Um, and this is how, let's see that in a second. Ezra. God dang it. It's disrupting the spirit, man. I don't want to act right and go to the scriptures like I want to. All right, let's go here. Second Ezra 6. Y'all should know. And what are we talking about? Second Ezra 6. We're going to read verse 6 down to 9. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So second Ezra understood and knew what it was. That's right, Aladar. The end of the world as we know it, right? The end of the world as we know it. What do we know about this world that's being ran right now? It's being ran by the heathen. It's being conducted and controlled by Esau. We see a whole army of high elite PDF files running things, raping, smiting children, rape, robbing, and murdering and colonizing lands. You know, have a bloodlust for the children of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I mean, it's going to be the end of that. The monopolizing of lands, the monopolizing of the bank systems, the controlling of the religious organization. This is going to be the end of all of that. And Ezra knew this as well. And this is what the disciples were studying as well, because they said, well, Ezra obviously preceded them. And they're saying, well, when is this time that Ezra is talking about? Verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, and when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Well, that's what we're looking forward to. The end of this particular time that we're in, and the beginning of it that followeth. Verse 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand first held the heel of Esau. So everything goes back to Esau and Jacob. I know some Israelites like, oh, y'all talk about Esau. Well, Esau plays a strong role in what's going to end up happening in the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth. You have to acknowledge and see, what role does he play in our salvation? What role does he play in the second coming of Hamashiach Yahushua? The justice, the redemption. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is why the Lord told Ezra, and he even told the disciples. Yahushua told the disciples, well, this is what you got to look for if you want the end to happen. If you're waiting for this particular time frame, this is what it begins here. the birthing of the last two nations on the earth, Esau and Jacob, begins and ends with us. The immortal battle of good against evil. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is what Yahushua is talking about when they ask, well, what's going to be the end and the departing asunder, the parting asunder of times and the beginning of. Let me just read it. Back to Matthew 24. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. We're in the age of universal deceit through AI, through disinformation, through religious dogma, through politics. I mean, hell, you just had, they had the congressional hearings with Bill Clinton and his involvement with the Epstein shenanigans. And he's got the nerve to pop out and say, I didn't do anything wrong. I was good. What? This is the same man that said damn near 20 years ago that he did not have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky and found out he lied. So can we trust him when it comes down to his sexual deviancy? When he's on record for being a liar with his infidelities? Yeah, I don't think so. It's the same man that said that he smoked weed, but he never inhaled. What? How do you smoke it but don't inhale? Man, these cats be lying to say they come on, man. Anyway, let me double back. Knowing this, that there's going to be an age of deception that's going out there. Israel got to be careful, man, from doctrinal things to your own will to your visual things that we see. Like I've been saying, we can't even trust what's in front of us now, if it's real or not. Like when we're questioning, is this real or is this fake? Is this AI? Is this Photoshop? Whatever. We don't even know. So we've been put on notice that there's going to be times of deception like none other. This is why Christ even told us, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Because of the fact that there's lies and deception is going to be superseding everything, and it's going to be running everything that we know today. Verse 5, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, Hamashiach, or Christ, and shall deceive many. So there's going to be many coming in the name of Christ, from the churches to even Israelite groups and, sects or camps, whatever. You've got even Agent Orange laid out his speech talking about how he's going to be bombing. The bombs is dropping down and all this other stuff. And at the end of his speech, he's talking about God bless you, but God bless America, God bless. And he don't even believe in the Most High. How long ago did we just play the video where he said, I'm not going to heaven. I don't think I can do enough. Come on, man. And you got so many of these damn MAGA right-wing, red hat wearing idiots running around here talking about, yeah, that's what he said he's going to do. He's going to protect the Iranians. He's doing exactly what he said. You understand? He's going to liberate them poor old Iranians. You don't give a damn about them, because in the same sentence, he said he wanted regime change. Anyway, deceiving many. Verse 6, key. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So let's not throw on the tap dance shoes and think it's whistling Dixie that, it's over. No, this is just the beginning, y'all. And this all has to come to pass if we're going to be delivered. So don't fret, don't fear, embrace the faith, move diligently, move wisely. As the scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times and strength of salvation. So yes, this is a good thing. The candle's been lit. And if it be the will of the Most High, this is the thing that ignites the entire detonating bomb that alludes to World War III, Armageddon, final judgment of the nations, the deliverance of the children of Israel, our escape up out of this land, right? And return back home. The linchpin has been pulled. Grenades in the hands. Like, we're waiting for the Most High to just really throw it. As it stands right now, this is completely different than what they did last year in June with the 12-day war under Operation Hammer, where they bombed the supposed nuclear facilities in Iran and said that it was over with. We destroyed everything. It's completely obliterated. Everybody can breathe easy now. There's no threat from Iran anymore. And here we are, 8 months later, dropping more bombs. Difference is now, Iran is fighting back. Iran ain't backing down. Now look at this. Matthew 24, and I think verse 20. Yeah, look at this. Matthew 24 and 20 says, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. This scripture came to mind when I was talking about, Esau's propensity to try to incite violence on the Sabbath. There's documents and information out there, and I have some that said that 70 AD was taken over on Saturn's day, otherwise known as the Sabbath day, the seventh day, day of the Lord. right? We ran down all the multiple incidences that they happen on the Sabbath. So we see here that there's something in the spirit of things happening on the Sabbath day, especially when it comes down to our enemies attacking and doing things. Even with the history of the Maccabees, when the Greeks was attacking us and Israel was getting slaughtered, Judas Maccabeus, Mattathias, and them, they had to say, look, we got to defend our laws and the commandments. We can't lay down and continually rest and get destroyed. We have to make an edict, defend ourselves, even on the Sabbath, right? So in the spirit, we see that even during the Sabbath day, there's things that's going to be occurring. And this is one of the things that Christ told the disciples regarding the end of the world or the end of the age or the end of a time, right? Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. This is the beginnings of, Armageddon. When the nations now are all on notice, saying, hey, is this it? Oh, are we prepared? Let's make sure that we got all our weapons in order, you know. And one thing that we got to understand too is that this is all the will of the Most High. There's not going to be Congress running to the office saying we need to stop this immediately. No, there's no stopping it. Just like all of the peace talks have failed, and I purposely held off because I was seeing things, I was reading stuff, and I was like, oh, the last thing that I remember hearing, they said, oh, within 10 days. I seen something like 15 days, and I was like, okay, they're going to do it either during Ramadan or after Ramadan. I think Ramadan is going to be over in a couple of weeks, maybe a little short. I could be off, but nonetheless, I seen a report yesterday, and it was like all the U.S. evacuated, all of their essential personnel and everything else. They told everybody to get up out of there. They said that the negotiating talks had completely failed. They all left, right? So there you go. So that should let us know that once they start evacuating, getting everybody up out of there, something was going to go down. And interestingly enough, in the spirit, when I woke up this morning, I had my phone on silent. Woke up and something in the spirit told me, wake up, don't be surprised your phone is blowing up. And I didn't, know why or whatever. And of course, text coming in from 1 o'clock in the morning, wherever, and brothers was on it. And I was like, oh, this is it. I seen it yesterday. I knew it. Okay, boom, here we go. So all praise to the Most High, man, because that's what we give credit for. Look at this, Amos 3. Shall the trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and Yahweh hath not done it? Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord Yahweh hath spoken, who can but prophesy? And what's interestingly enough about this, it said the lion hath roared, right? That's what they call this particular operation. Look at this. You see this? 2026, Israeli United States strikes in Iran. The operation code name Roaring Lion. You can't make this up, man. All praise to the Most High. Here we go. So who's really the Roaring Lion? Look, we'll go back. Surely, the Lord Elohim will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. The Most High said his work is done. All right, it's already set in motion. Now we look to see how things match up, link with the scriptures, and see how it is of the Most High. The lion have roared, right? This isn't a declaration that the damn small hat GMO astroturf people over there are the mouth of the, no, this is prophecy. See, his secret unto his servants, the prophets, the lion have roared. And what are we talking about now? Roaring Lion, the operation with the bombing in 2026. Okay. Right on time, knowing that the Most High is the one who performed all of this. Right? Let me see Jeremiah. So we right on task, man. The Most High definitely is hearing the pleas and the cries of his people. You understand? The gathering of the elect obviously is on point, and things just moving towards that number, because otherwise we wouldn't even be talking about all this. Jeremiah 18, verse 5, it says, Then the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith the Yahweh? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in my hand, O house of Israel. At what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to pluck it up and to pull down to destroy it. So the Most High is saying he's the one that plucks up nations, pulls them down, destroys them. He's in complete control. He is the potter. We are the clay. The world is his clay. The world is his stage and chessboard. He's in control of it all. Now it says concerning nations getting pulled up, plucked down, and destroyed. If that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do unto them. That only is going to really align with us, because we're the only nation that's going to have the opportunity, or that will repent. White man's in control of the whole earth. He's in control of the World Council, the churches, the World Banks, all socioeconomic systems throughout the four corners of the earth. He's got every opportunity to heed to the word of the Lord. But what's he doing? No, he's classifying so-called Black Hebrew Israelites as a hate group, Black identity extremists, NSPM 7, censoring speech, saying if you say anything against the regime, you could be considered a domestic terrorist, even though the Bible says that the prophets before us have to be speaking against great kingdoms and countries and nations and pestilence and plague and war. That comes with the territory. But he's saying if you say any of that, if you fulfill anything that the Bible says, oh, you're a problem. You're a seditious little devil. So the Lord said, I'm fair. Turn from the evil, get right. I'm going to do it. But he won't do it. And at what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to build and to plant it? If it do evil in my sight, that it obey not my voice, then will I repent of the good wherewith I said it would benefit them. So this is what the Lord is promising, number one, the house of Israel, because we are the clay in his hands. He's in control of it all, okay? Let's not get it twisted. But he's fair. He's going to give us a chance to repent. This is the time, Israel, if you're going to repent, if you want to seek the face of the Lord 10 times more and all of that, this is the time, because time waits for no man. And we're seeing time moving fast. We're already at the end of February, so-called February. We're getting ready to enter March tomorrow. Within 30 days, we're going to be entering in the true biblical beginning of the year, and Passover and everything else. I mean, time is moving, man. Yahweh even said you got to cut the time short for the elect's sake. So the fact that time is getting cut short, meaning it's going to be moving even more rapidly. So if there's any time to repent, any time to get right now, hey, it's right now. Book of Isaiah 45 and verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. So You shouldn't. We ain't looking at Ayatollah Khamenei. That guy's wicked over there in Iran, and Agent Orange, man, he's doing, and they're doing exactly what the Most High wants them to do, and that is what it is, right? All for our glory, all for the sake of us being able to acknowledge our iniquities, invest our faith in Hamashiach Yahweh, and to do everything that we need to do in order to make sure that we are securing our crowns for the forthcoming kingdom of Israel. Isaiah 10:5-6. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. So we see how the Most High uses nations to execute judgment. At one time, he used the Assyrians to bring judgment upon the northern kingdom, bring them into war. Babylon ended up taking them out, right? So we're seeing the transitions of power. We're seeing how the Most High moves chess pieces on the board. So when we're seeing, I'm gonna have to co-sign what Granny said last week. Remember, Granny said, "Leave that man alone. I love Trump." Yeah, all praises for Trump, man, because he is a willing vessel, regardless of all his pride and arrogancy and everything else. Man, he is doing exactly what the Most High wants him to do, and exactly what it's going to take for us to be delivered. He's in the hand of the Most High. He is a clay pot. I mean, a ball of clay that the Most High is making him perform all manners of judgment. I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread down like the mire in the streets. So yeah, when the Assyrians was used to take down the children of Israel, that's the Most High playing chess, saying, "Hey, I got to use it." So even when you see with America, man, they're being used to bring forth all of these prophecies and judgments, right? Sirach 10. Oops. Let me get that back. And then we're gonna get into these articles, man, because this is a whole lot. Y'all already know. Sirach 10, and I want to read verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. That's how the Most High plays. He translates kingdoms. He's the one that establishes rulership. It's not by the will of man. It's not by the fact that they've got greater weapons. They're more deceitful. They voted for such. No, the Most High is making all of these particular moves. All of these particular moves, right? So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. All right. Now, this was an article that I had, days before, maybe earlier this week or something like that, right? But the U.S. was urging its citizens to leave Israel immediately amid a strike threat to Iran. So we've been hearing about all these strikes for the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or more. They're going to bomb. They're going to bomb. They're going to do it. All the way back to when they was doing all the protests in Iran. And Trump and everybody else was urging them on, saying, yeah, get liberated. Go ahead. We got your back. We're gonna, if they do any more executions out there, we're gonna jump in there. We're gonna help you. So all of a sudden now, maybe a month or two later, month and a half later, here comes the bombing. But it had nothing to do with them trying to liberate Iran. And, you see some videos, man. I've seen a couple of podcasts or whatever saying, especially that, I think that was Iranian too. See, the Iranians, we hate this regime, and we're so happy that Trump is doing what he's doing. We're gonna see about that, right? You happy that 85 children got bombed and killed at a little girls' school? That was cool, right? I thought they were supposed to be strategically trying to hit Iranian nuclear, facilities or potential nuclear facilities, military facilities, places where their generals and leadership are supposed to be at. What's with the schools? As they're running in the streets from bomb debris and everything else, talking about how happy they are that they're getting bombed. Man, if you don't knock it off. So heads up was given, right, to the small hats and the GMO AstroTurf people over there, occupying our land as squatters. Dig what I'm saying? So they was given Heads up, right? So prior to that, I was like, okay, something might be coming, but we've been seeing these same stories all week or for the last few weeks. Look, State Department orders evacuation of non-emergency U.S. personnel from the embassy. Now, this was on the 23rd. So this was 5 days ago. They was already saying, get up out of there. And then I was starting to see things slowly but surely building up, saying, oh, might be coming this weekend. They've been saying that for a minute. So, I'm still like, I don't know. But then when they broke down them talks yesterday, and they was like, no deal, it ain't happening. And they said that Jared Kushner and what's the other cat's name? Not Steve. Yeah, Steve Witkoff left up out of there dejected and mad. Basically, like the Iranians told him, man, get the F up out of here, man, and no deal. Because essentially they telling them, man, you can't have any nuclear energy, whether it's for power, uh, uh, scientific research, anything, because we know that's just going to be a cover up because you're going to get a bomb. And we want your, I think they said they wanted their, basically like they wanted their missile systems all shut down. In other words, they wanted Iran to just be a sitting duck and let them do whatever they want to do. Meanwhile, Bibi Netanyahu, he's over there saying, let's bomb, let's get them, let's get them, let's get them. For the last 30 years, he's been talking about they got it, they're gonna have a nuclear bomb, they're gonna get us, we gotta strike first. So this has all been building up. We see here, right? State Department told them get up out of there. Look, Trump claims Iran is building missiles that can reach the U.S. in a rambling State of the Union address. He had a State of the Union address earlier this week. There's been so much going on, man, from, uh, the cartels in Mexico, that war starting off. Um, we're going to try to cover it all, y'all. Bear with me. Trying to pull it all together. But you see here, he just made this particular statement. They're building missiles that can reach the U.S. They've already had the technology and the understanding that they can do it, right? But how are they doing it when they have no access to the technology to do it? Now, don't get me wrong; they can definitely build the bomb. From them being for the descendants of Persia and Elam or whatnot, man. The scriptures tell you that Elam bends the bow, the experts in with the bow and the arrow, in the spirit. That's their preference of weapon. That's why they're selling the drones to Russia, because they have the technology for the aeronautical, weaponry or whatnot. That's in their spirit. So they know it could take them like 7 days. They can get a bomb cracking. That's why America's like, heck no, don't let them get it out. Don't let them get a hold of it. But they have had some reports saying that they've got some missiles that can reach the East Coast, easy, right? So I didn't even watch that State of the Union address, man. The lies and the foolishness just gets to be overwhelming. I can't even do it, right? Now here we go. Agent Orange says this is your only chance. Trump urges Iranians to overthrow the regime. Do you see that? Now it's about regime change. I thought it was just about the nuclear power, because he went on a whole rampage talking about they was told time and time again they can't have nuclear weapons. You can't have nuclear weapons. As if that was the only talking point. That they're negotiating, they're talking about whether or not Iran can have nuclear weapons. And that's just a deal breaker. No, they were talking about nuclear power, period. And now, because that's not even the case, he's just saying, well, we lit the fuse, man. Y'all go in there and act a damn fool and get yourselves killed trying to overthrow the government. We got your back as we're bombing your schools and bombing you.
The son of a teacher and Navy vet, he built a company and walked away. Tom Steyer, pledging to fight for us. When corporations ripped us off, Tom led the fight for Prop 39 and won, earning California billions. Tom Steyer gets it done.
The U.S. and Israel launching a joint attack on Iran overnight. Sirens blaring across Israel after the country's defense minister declared a state of emergency. Iran fired back on Israel.
So clearly we see that they decided to join up and pack out Iran. It take both of them. That's to let you know, man, the cowardice in the nation of Edom, man. They both need to jump Iran. They not trying to do it on their own. You can see that the small hat said, "This ain't a job they can handle on it by themselves. Let's jump them." Right. Reading this, particular part of the article, I'm not gonna play too much more of this video because I'm sure everybody has seen a lot of things, man. It's 5 minutes. As a joint U.S.-Israeli military operation was underway against Iran, President Donald Trump vowed to, quote, annihilate the country's Navy and missile sites while urging Iranians to overthrow the regime in Tehran, saying this will probably be your only chance for generations. So you see how, man, Esau plays this damn divide and conquer game? He goes and sparks the fuse and then says, this is your only chance, man. Overthrow your regime, commit sedition, everything. Like, isn't this what he did with, they're going to say, no, they're going to say he was innocent with the January 6th situation and all that. But after all of the hype, after all of the QAnon and all of the brainwashing and everything else that they was putting out there, that the election was getting stole and everything else, right? Then he sits back and says, I was innocent. I didn't tell them to do nothing. But you've already poisoned the minds with them with propaganda, BS, and whatever the hell else. And even if it did get stolen, it is what it is. Dirty politics. They all play it. Now he's using the same tactic, telling them, go overthrow your regime. Do like we did, January 6th. Remember that? And meanwhile, he ain't gonna be the one paying the price for what happens to them trying to overthrow their regime. Tell them, get out there.
Around 2 a.m. our time, explosions can be heard in the northern part of the country. The U.S. and Israel launching a joint attack on Iran overnight.
I do got to lay down.
The U.S. and Israel launching a joint attack on Iran overnight.
Okay, Shalaki. All right, so now, as we continue on here, Trump launches task force Scorpion as Iran peace talks collapse. So this is what I was seeing too, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. When those peace talks collapsed, I said, all right, that was the last, that was the last thing they was going to have to do to try to get any peace going. So Trump has armed a squadron of kamikaze drones as nuclear negotiations with Iran have collapsed and the prospect of war with Iran looms. The Pentagon has approved the deployment of the experimental U.S. military drone unit capable of self-detonation known as Task Force Scorpion, according to Bloomberg. The deadly drone unit is a part of Trump's massive military buildup in the Middle East, the largest since 2003 invasion of Iraq. That's key right there, too. Remember this, we're talking about 2003 invasion of Iraq, right? Now, look at this. The latest round of talks ended without a deal as both sides remain divided over key issues, including ending uranium enrichment and dismantling Iran's nuclear facilities, according to the Wall Street Journal. So, yeah, they're talking about the uranium enrichment, the nuclear facilities to have any power, any nuclear research, anything that can help progress them as a nation. They would like, no, you can't have it because we know you're going to arm up. Well, guess what? I would arm up too if I had a nuclear power constantly threatening me. Speaking about the small hats, the GMO small hats, speaking about, America. You understand? I seen another cat, man, he made a good point. He said, man, that the nations that do have nukes, America don't be making them threats, and neither do the GMO small hats. They wouldn't dare do this with North Korea. They ain't doing it with Pakistan and none of these other countries. China, Russia. That's why they saying, well, guess what? We can't let Iran have it because if Iran got it, man, it might get cracking. But it's okay because it's all in the Lord's plan. They're gonna get cracking either way. Look, Israel declares nationwide emergency after strikes on Tehran. Yeah, those alarms was ringing. That's what the Most High said in Amos 3. So the trumpet be blown in the city and the Lord have not done it. I seen the CNN reporter, man. She was reporting in the studio. And alarms was going off, and it was like, we've been told shelter in place. We're going to cut the stream right now, and we're out of here. Like something out of a movie. So everybody's being told. Now, pay attention to this. J.D. Vance says there's no chance a U.S. attack on Iran will lead to long war with no end in sight. He said no way that this is going to take a long time, man. We're going to get in there, man. We're going to slap them up. We're going to be up out of there. Regime change on deck. We're going to have our puppets in place. We're going to take control of the Islamic State over there in Iran. We're going to have, maybe we'll throw in another Al Qaeda leader like we did in Syria, and let them just rain hell over there. Who knows, right? No chance. Up to your point, Naquab, you in the spirit. They said the same thing in Iraq. That's why I said pay attention to that 2003 Iraq quote. The Iraq War, initially expected to last only a few weeks, turned into a prolonged conflict lasting nearly 8 years due to the unexpected insurgency and instability following the initial invasion. Major combat operations were declared over in May of 2003, but the U.S. military remained involved until December of 2011. And even outside of that, still got military bases all over the Middle East, trying to regulate and trying to make that, took down Saddam Hussein and everything else. Look, don't fall for the okie doke, man. When he speaketh fair, believe him not. Proverbs 26:25. But the 7 abominations in his heart. J.D. Vance said, hey, this ain't going to take too long. This should be quick. Same thing they said back in with Iraq. Like the brother said, man, 20 years later, still over there, still occupying, still regulating, and it damn sure went longer than a few weeks. So expect this one to go a little longer than what they're saying. J.D. Vance says there's no way. Of course, we should trust them, right? That's why I said, man, the linchpin might have been lit, man. Look, U.S. military suffered 200 casualties in retaliatory strikes. Now, this is according to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard and their numbers. Take it for what it is. But all I know is that in that State of the Union address, well, whatever he did, the Trump speech last night talking about, or early this morning about the bombing, he said American lives will be lost, but basically that's the cost of doing business, and that's the cost of war. Now, Iran, they done launched some attacks on multiple places: Bahrain, Dubai, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait. Even one of them big high-rise hotels over there in Dubai got hit with some shrapnel, man, and a big old expensive hotel got hit and caught fire and is jacked up. All places where U.S. military bases are at, all of the allies of America. Now Iran is saying, man, we got 200 of them. If that's true, do you think that statement J.D. Vance said is going to be quick will hold true? You think America's going to sit back and allow 200 casualties go without notice? Or just say, hey, you know what, they got some of us, we got some of them, let's come back and negotiate again. Esau don't operate like that, man. His bloodlust, and especially the small hats over there, man, they got their fangs out. They want more blood, more destruction, more, more control, more dominance, more genocide. So after retaliation strikes, we ain't hearing about this too much, man. This is from RT. The U.S. has suffered 200 casualties in Iranian retaliatory strikes on bases across the Middle East, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has claimed. Backed by the U.S., Israel launched what was described as a preemptive operation against Iranian military and nuclear-related targets in the early hours of Saturday, claiming the strikes were aimed at neutralizing threats posed by the Islamic Republic in the region, right? So Iran is claiming 200 bodies. Let's see if they, we don't, that's what they're saying. How they got an accumulation of that number that fast, I don't know. unless they're saying that these particular bases, there should be, 50 here, 175 there, whatever. Somehow they came up with this particular number. I don't know. So take it for what it's worth. They're claiming they got 200 bodies. We're going to see. Now, here we go. U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran. At least 85 girls are killed in a strike on a school. I thought they were supposed to be strategically hitting up targets sensitive to Iran's military bases. They're suspected nuclear facilities. Clearly, that ain't the case. Let me see something. Look at this. This is how heartless, man, and this is how cold Esau is. Now, Agent Orange had a black tie affair fundraiser for a nonprofit for kids. Before we go there, hold on, man. This how cold he is. Proverbs, what is it? Proverbs 11. Proverbs 11:9 says, "A hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered." A hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor. Do you see what he did? Now, number one, J.D. Vance said, "Oh, it's going to be fast. Don't worry about it." 200 bodies later, that ain't happened. Agent Orange says that, they're going to be hitting strategic targets or whatever the case may be. They go bomb a damn school and kill some kids. And then he has the nerve to have a fundraiser for kids at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Let that sink in. This was last night. He knew that they were going to bomb and what they was going to do. And then he's sitting back trying to parade himself around as this big old, charitable philanthropist who cares about the kids. Meanwhile, you just killed 85 kids. Look at this. Trump parties at a flashy gala as troops are warned they may die in Iran. Yeah, he told the troops, man, you're going to probably get put to death. Some of y'all going to die. But, I got to go turn up at this black tie affair. Don't mind me. Look, President Trump squeezed in an appearance at an extravagant gala being held at his Mar-a-Lago club while telling the country he launched a full-out war with Iran. The Black Tie Gala was hosted Friday evening by the Palm Beach-based nonprofit Place of Hope, which described itself as a faith-based organization providing care for children and families in South Florida. Several attendees of the gala posted pictures of the president stopping by the showy gala. There you go. What an event last night. Huge turnout and watched a great group of people raise money for children. I mean, does the hypocrisy stop there? I mean, can we acknowledge, man, this is the devil, man. Meaning a deceiver. The president is seen wearing the same white, dirty U.S. trucker hat he wore while telling the U.S. he launched America's first full-scale war since 2003. During the video, he warned that Americans may die in his war. This is the president of peace, though. He said he's going to put an end to all of these wars. Meanwhile, he's escalated Russia and Ukraine. He's launched attacks on Venezuela. He's launched attacks on Nigeria. He's launched attacks on Iran twice now. as he's still begging for a legitimate Nobel Peace Prize. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. Right? It's all fun and look at it. Not a black face in sight, huh? You see all his constituents, all his money, where it's all going. Now he said, "Oh, this is for the kids." Meanwhile, they went and took out some kids. Very interesting. Let's get back over here. At least 85 people, almost all of them young girls, have been killed in an airstrike on a primary school in southern Iran, the Iranian judiciary said. This is the same one who talks about how Iran is over there oppressing the women, because of, they're not wearing their hijabs. They don't want to, be modestly apparelled. They can't drive, all this other stuff. And America is always saying, that old terrible country. First of all, that's under their quote unquote religious law. They want to worship and bow down to heathens and rats and not saying that they do in particular. Let's say India, they want to, worship cows and what the hell has that got to do with America? But because they're the police of the world, they're the ones who want to control every damn thing. They're the ones who propagandize, acting as if they care about the rights of women, bombing girls' schools. See the hypocrisy? Okay. The attack on Saturday morning hit Sharjah Taya Bay School in the city of Manab in the Hormozgan province as the United States and Israel began launching strikes on targets across Iran. The victims were between 7 and 12 years old. 7 and 12-year-old girls hit. Very strategic, man. But we, on another note, we can see how, there's some fumbling going on with America and their intelligences and whatnot, man. Did y'all hear about they had to laser down a damn drone down at the border because they thought it was cartel related and it was actually the border patrol. They shot down their own damn drone, man, using a laser. They're talking about how the USS, what is it, the Henry Ford, the bathrooms and the sewer system is all jacked up in there. America on the face value, man, we make it look like they got their ish in order, man, but they really don't. And then you see here, they're supposed to have the intelligence to know where they're strategically hitting particular targets, and they hit the school. Not saying it was a mistake. I don't think it was. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. Now, we're even seeing here that it's apparently illegal because he did this without the approval of Congress. Because I can see that this little square, man, is getting in the way. And part of the article is getting taken off. So I don't want y'all thinking I'm misreading anything or whatnot. Now let's get back over here. Acts of war unauthorized by Congress. Trump's congressional critics denounced the Iran strike. So Congress didn't approve this. He didn't get the full approval. You can't go to war. According to the Constitution, you cannot go to war without Congress's approval. Unless there's some so-called emergency, act that he can kind of scrape through. That's what he did with the whole thing with Venezuela. So it's the drugs. The drug proposal, imminent threat to America, is killing Americans, cartel violence, this, that, and the third. We got to do something. I'm pushing the panic button. Under emergency authorizations, I'm launching these strikes, man. We're going to go bomb over there, man, do a quick kidnapping of the president and do a regime change. We're going to take the oil. I'm going to sell some oil, man. Stats is $500 million over here in this private bank in Europe. So apparently Congress is like, hey, hold on, we didn't approve this. What the hell? So it sounds as if this is an illegal attack. We can support the democracy movement and the Iranian people without sending our troops to die, says Senator Ruben Gallego. Here he goes.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may...
Wicked. Very wicked. He said, no, I thought he said he loves the Iranian people and everything else. He's going to make Iran great again. Wicked. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? All right, let me back him up a little bit.
Dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But
hold on. When did Iran threaten America? He's saying that this is all because they were under threats of Iran. Like Iran said that they were going to bomb. Iran didn't move in two warships. Iran didn't move in multiple F-16s and all that. Iran ain't the ones saying come to the negotiating table so we can strip you of everything. Iran, what are you talking about? Where and when did Iran make threats to America and America's sovereignty and democracy and everything else? I haven't seen it. All the aggression, all the talks, all of the propaganda has been coming from America and from the small hats. Well, they've been funding the Houthis and they've been funding Hezbollah. Well, guess what? Let the heathen destroy each other, whatever. But at the same point in time, truth is truth. They're witnessing their people and their other faithful Islamic believers getting eradicated over there. You don't think that they should get their brothers back? You don't think that they should be helping them defend? There wasn't no attacks jumping off prior to October 7th. Once they start getting hit up and the Houthis was getting bombed on and getting jacked up over there, they reached out to Big Brother and said, hey, man, send us some help, man. Get Hezbollah over here, man. They trying to wipe us out. We was here before that. And both of them are squatters. Both of them got to get up out of there so the true people can get over there. But when it's all said and done, yeah, Iran went ahead and helped them out. As all these illegal bombings and murders have been going on over there, are they people, man, by the small hats? Multiple war crimes happening. Refugee encampments killing men, killing women and children and all that. Yeah, why wouldn't they come to their aid? Let's keep it real. He said that they're trying to, they got to stop them because they're trying to, they're tired of being threatened by America. Yeah, you're right, Bayan. George Bush. You're either with us or you're with the terrorists. They got weapons of mass destruction over here. They're trying to harm our way of life. If any of y'all was around and remember 2001, 9/11, that was all plastered across the news, man. George Bush saying that the Afghanis and the terrorists wanted to destroy our way of life. They hate our way of life here in America. They hate our freedoms. And they had everybody, not us, speaking of brothers and sisters that was in the truth at that time and wasn't falling for the okie doke, amongst anybody else who was conscious, I can't exclude and just say we was the only ones who knew it was BS. But at the same time, it was like, what? Yeah, they got weapons of mass destruction and they're going to use it on us if we don't do something. And if you're not with us, you're with the terrorists. And guess what? We're going to have to get the NSA on you and we're spying and the Patriot Act and everything else. Turns out it was all a lie. Now here we go. Whole nother speech about how Iran is threatening America. And we don't see that happen. Okay.
Threatening America and our core national security interests. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons.
You hear that code word? We're not doing this for now. We're doing it for the future. So that's to let you know that it's not going to be an immediate war. He said this is going to be a future. It's going to take some time. And what's he talking about? Regime change. He ain't talking about, just because the uranium and all that. They've been wanting regime change for the longest. Same way they wanted in Cuba, same way they wanted in Venezuela. And any other country that opposes the will of the great whore.
And have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond.
Now, see, here's this maniac talking about it's your only chance for freedom. Let's see what you do. At the same time, he's talking about stay inside. Don't go outside. Lots of bombs is gonna be happening. I mean, come on, man. What are you asking them to do? Stay inside or go outside? Do you want them to overthrow? Do you want them to? He's sitting back saying, "I'm doing what no other president was willing to do. I'm going to help you take over." Isn't that what he said was going to happen in Venezuela? How's that working out? Oh, he's going to liberate the people of Venezuela from the cruel dictator, drug dealing Maduro. Yeah, where is he at again? Has anybody seen, heard, or whisper, or any further court proceeding updates, trial dates, anything? Hello? I haven't. You haven't. And we ain't heard a peep about what's going on in Venezuela outside of them taking oil and selling it and making money. Same thing they're going to propose there in Iran, man. Give me a break.
The United States.
Now, hold on. Here's an article I got from the whitehouse.gov, right? Their own official statement. You can't say, man, IQ, you twisting that. Huh? Hold on. Get out of here. Get out of here. You see it up here. The White House, right? You see up here, whitehouse.gov. As of June 25th of last year, what did they put out in their press release? Iran's nuclear facilities have been obliterated and suggestions otherwise are fake news. Now, he just got through saying that they were threatening America, that they have missiles capable of hitting the U.S. Who's lying? He said it's fake news if you hear anything else. They've been wiped out. Their facilities is done. They're crippled. They have no chance of getting up. As of June 25th of 2025, he said it's over with. We got them. And if you hear anything else, it's fake news, man. So what just came out his mouth is fake news. There is no threat. See, here's all of the quotes that was coming from him, all of that, right? But the headline should be enough. Headline should be enough. And just by their own admissions, here you go. Here's your boy, Benjamin Netanyahu.
See what scholarships you may qualify for. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer.
Him.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
You've probably heard this line before.
Iran has never given up its quest for nuclear weapons and the missiles to deliver them.
That's because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying this for more than 30 years, claiming Iran is close to having
nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons, nuclear weapons, atomic bombs.
In 1992, as a member of parliament, Netanyahu addresses the Knesset. He says, within 3 to 5 years, we can assume that Iran will become autonomous in its ability to develop and produce a nuclear bomb. 3 years later, in his book, Fighting Terrorism, he repeats the same time frame, 3 to 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Fast forward to 2002. Netanyahu testifies before a U.S. congressional committee actively calling for the invasion of Iraq.
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran.
The invasion happens months later. No weapons of mass destruction are found in Iraq.
And right according to plan, if you remember, General Wesley Clark. I played a video a long time ago where he ran down the U.S.'s plan to invade the 7 nations, the Islamic nations, and they didn't hit all of them except for maybe like 2. If y'all remember that, if you don't, look it up on the internet. General Wesley Clark, U.S. plans for, invasions. Some of y'all will remember that. But this has already been pre-planned. They already know it. And moving in alignment with Benjamin Netanyahu, here we go. For 33 years, he's been pumping this up.
This is a fragment of a 2009 US State Department cable released by WikiLeaks. Netanyahu tells members of Congress that Iran is 1 or 2 years away from being capable of developing nuclear weapons.
They're online.
It's 2012, and Netanyahu is holding up his infamous cartoon bomb at the UN General Assembly.
By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment
All right, so we know the game, man. I'm going to throw up if I see any more lies.
rates,
Let's move on.
they will
Now, you see here, Iran to buy Chinese supersonic anti-ship missiles as U.S. carriers are near. So, yeah, they've been investing. And who's helping them? Oh, China. Oh, China. Oh, okay. U.S. carriers and warships mass in the Gulf. And as the next round of Geneva talks are expected by week's end, Tehran appears to be quietly upgrading its ability to threaten maritime choke points. According to Reuters, Iran is in advanced negotiation with Beijing to purchase Chinese-made CM-302 anti-ship cruise missiles, which are supersonic weapons. Projectiles which go faster than the speed of sound, designed to skim low over the water and evade naval defenses. That was one of the things that they Trump and them wanted off the table. They was like, we got to have control of your supersonic missiles as well. And Iran was like, are you crazy? There must be residue, coke and weed going on in the White House if you think they were going to deal with that. From the slow Biden regime, the dope house that they had going on, man. Trump and them must be getting high off their own supply over there if they thought Iran was going to say, okay, yeah, just take everything from us. It's good. We trust you guys. The deal of the Chinese-made CM-302 missiles is near completion. No delivery date has been agreed, informed sources told the outlet. Iran has military and security agreements with its allies, and now is an appropriate time to make use of these agreements, an Iranian foreign ministry official says separately. At the moment, additional deals with Russia are being reported. Oh, really? With Russia? Very interesting. Including a €500 million agreement for Moscow to send thousands of its advanced shoulder-fire missiles to Tehran. Okay, here we go. Oh, Pakistan condemns attacks on Iran and retaliatory strikes. Who else is not with this? Russia condemns U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran. Very interesting. Turkey. Oh. Georgian condemns U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran as regional conflict. Why are these particular nations important? Why are they important, right? Y'all should know. Revelation 16 tells us in verse 12, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So we know, historically, y'all have all seen the Euphrates is dried up. This is part of the historical prophecy. Let's see. Here we go. I mean, do we need to see anything more? Right? Here's one image. Here's drying up here. Aerial views, right? Here's somebody else did one. So we can clearly see that this prophecy is being held true. Now it said, why? So that the kings of the east might be prepared. As we read in Joel 3, What are they preparing for? They're preparing for war. The kings of the East. One of the headlines you seen was the Southeast Asia is going to war, is on fire right now. Why are they talking about that? Because the quote unquote, whether you're saying the Middle East, Eastern Europe, the Far East, these are all the nations who are key components of dealing with this war, from China to North Korea to Pakistan to Turkey to Russia. These are all quote unquote kings of the East. These are all respective kingdoms that are all being prepared for what? War. So when we're seeing them taking this particular position, even with Turkey, right? When Ezekiel 38 talks about Meshach and Tubal, this is who they're talking about. This is who is in alignment with Gog, Magog. I said the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, they're also involved, as you can see here. See, all this going towards it. You got Turkey, the Middle East. Who are these particular nations? Kings of the East, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, all of these, Syria, they've all been involved in conflict and war. Russia, right? As we go further to the further east, you still got, North Korea, South Korea, China, Japan, the Philippines, all of these particular nations are all going to be moving in towards war. Taiwan. So verse 38, Ezekiel 38 in verse 3, and say, thus saith the Most High Power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So they're the chief prince, meaning they're the chief over, Meshach and Tubal. If you're saying, Gog, Magog, Russia will be the head, right? Under them, you got Turkey. And as we continue reading on, you see Persia. We've gone over that particular chapter a number of times. But this is letting it be known, why is Turkey involved in this? Because they've got not only financial ties with Russia, but they've got military ties as well, right? So when we see them saying that they're condemning the U.S., and if you remember, I had an article that the president of Turkey said that, man, everybody hates the U.S. They just have to tolerate it because they got the keys right now. So they made no bones about how they feel about what's going on. Turkey's President Erdogan denounced the joint U.S. military attack on Iran as a violation of sovereignty, warning of threats to regional stability. The conflict began on February 28, 2026, has escalated into direct armed engagement with Iran, launching retaliatory strikes, and Turkey preparing for potential refugee influxes. Now look at this. Economic risks loom as the Strait of Hormuz faces disruption threats while Turkey navigates diplomatic efforts aimed strained relations with the U.S. and Israel. So that's important too, man, that Strait of Hormuz. That's very important. Hold on one second. Okay. Look who else. China has said, we don't like that. We're very concerned, as you see here. China said it is highly concerned of the military strikes launched by the U.S. and Israel on Saturday, calling for an immediate stop to the military action. Iran's sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity should be respected. China calls for an immediate stop of the military actions, no further escalation of the tense situation, resumption of dialogue and negotiation, and efforts to uphold peace and stability in the Middle East. So China's saying, man, they need to knock it off, get back to the negotiating table. We don't like what's going on. And when it's all said and done, we already know whose side they're going to take, because they're in the BRICS with Iran. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and Iran, I believe, is on board with the BRICS. Let me make sure. I don't want to misquote that. I know they gave some of them. Oh, there you go. Yes. Okay. January 1st, 2024, they joined it. So along with Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. So there you go, right? Now, let's continue on. Now, speaking of wars and rumors of wars, not only do we have U.S., Israel, and Iran, Pakistan declaring war on Afghanistan. Pakistan, in particular, is a nuclear-armed country. Afghanistan.
Pakistan's defense minister says the country considers itself in an open war with Afghanistan. Pakistan hit the Afghanistan capital with airstrikes. This after Afghanistan launched a cross-border attack on Pakistan overnight. Afghanistan says it is retaliation for deadly Pakistan airstrikes on the Afghan border areas Sunday. Pakistan's government saying they were targeting militants responsible for attacks within their country.
So here we go. We're seeing the complete destabilization of the Middle East, man. And this is where everything goes down. That Valley of Jehoshaphat and everything that the Bible prophesied about, everything is going to spark over there and it's going to spread like wildfire outside. That's why the nations are running around saying, hold on.
Pakistan's defense minister
before it heads our way. This initially is going to cause a problem economically, especially for many of the surrounding nations, because their dependency upon the oil and the imports and exports that's utilized through the Strait of Hormuz is going to cause some problems. Now, this is going to affect the oil. May not affect America too much because America is the number one, oil hub in the world. Contrary to popular belief that it's, the Arabs got it. No, America, and I've shown that in the lesson I did on Fat of the Earth, Genesis 29:41, and America and all of the resources that it's got here, like the numbers don't lie. So America's got access to the oil. America's gonna be okay, but they're still gonna hoard oil. They're still going to end up having to, utilize this as a way to still get more money out of everybody. They're gonna say, well, look, the oil's in jeopardy. We got to raise the gas prices on everybody. We're going to raise your energy prices, even though they got enough oil and they control it and they can be self-sustained without it. They ain't got to raise no prices up, but they're still going to do it. Because guess what? These other nations that's in league with America are going to say, help, we need oil. We need some strategic reserves. Sell to us, give it to us. And if that takes away from the supplies here, that means scarcity is going to be here. Oil prices are going to go up. More money out the window for us. I mean, gas prices is already going up. So Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz after U.S.-Israel strikes. Reports say, what does this mean, right? Iran has reportedly closed the Strait of Hormuz in response to recent military strikes by the United States and Israel. This strategic waterway is crucial for global energy supplies, with approximately 20% of the world's oil and significant portion of liquefied natural gas passing through it. Authority, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards have issued warnings via radio transmission stating that no ship is allowed to pass through the strait. Impact on shipping. Major oil companies and trading houses have suspended shipments of crude oil, fuel, and liquefied natural gas. Many vessels are currently halted in their ports, unable to navigate through the strait. The geopolitical significance. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital checkpoint for oil exports from Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the UAE. So any countries that rely upon oil coming from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the UAE, they're going to get slowed down and shut down because they can't get their oil out. Any disruption here can significantly affect global oil prices and supply chains. Safety concerns. The U.S. Navy has warned vessels to avoid the area due to safety concerns, indicating it cannot guarantee the safety of shipping in the Gulf and surrounding waters. The closure has already caused jitters in global markets, with potential increases in oil prices and shipping costs expected as a result of the heightening tensions. So economically, this is going to weigh heavily on many parts of the earth, and it's going to affect here too. right? So be prepared for that as well. Now, look at this. Stephen Miller, another one of the dog whisperers that's in the ears of Agent Orange. Warning to young Americans over imminent World War III ages terribly. Hours before voting in the 2024 election opened, senior Trump advisor Stephen Miller sent a warning to young Americans men on X. Let's see what he said. Writing on November 4th, 2024, hours before Election Day, the senior Trump advisor said on X, if young men don't want to be drafted to fight in Kamala and Cheney's Third World War, they better get out and vote for Trump. You see how that works? They always throw rocks, hide their hands. They saying, oh no, Kamala and Cheney, they're the ones who's going to start war. They're the ones who's going to bomb Iran. They're the ones who's going to get us into conflict. They're the ones who's going to, get the draft going. Meanwhile, it's them. Night before the vote, he says, man, if you don't want to go to war, vote for Trump. Meanwhile, this cat man and got America in multiple wars. Now you see why we call him the devil. Now you see why the Lord said, never trust the enemy. Now you see why the Lord said, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, because the 7 abominations in his heart. All right. Okay, don't listen to me. Let Agent Orange go crazy. Let me let him go. 2011.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran.
Do the same rules apply for him? I wonder. He said Obama was going to do this. Obama's going to start the war because he can't negotiate and he's weak. How did the negotiations work for him now? Who started the war? The hypocrisy is amazing, man. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get
Hold on, I can't get this thing off of here. Why is this thing moving? Come on.
Our president.
Way, lucky, this thing is not getting off the screen. Let's try. I'm going to manually go past it. Yeah, here we go again. All right, here we go. Now, here's another angle too to consider. They've been catching wild heat over those files, right? And we've been seeing what's been going on with this. Now, ironically, when all of this heat's coming down from the files, names is getting dropped. The Clintons is out there dropping dimes, even though, George Clinton. Bill said, I didn't do nothing wrong. I had no problem with the women. Hillary said, hey, let the chips fall where they may. I think we need to get him on here and have him testify, publicly. We need to get them under order. You dig what I'm saying? So all of these things are being put out there. Now you got one of his top officials under pressure. You talking about y'all gone? Okay. Howard Lutnick, right? He's the what's his commission? Commissary. What's it? I forgot his official position. Commerce Secretary. Yeah. Commerce Secretary. Which in other words, he's over economic. He's an economic advisor to Trump. He's supporting the tariffs and everything else. He went on record saying that he ain't never hung out with Epstein. He don't deal with the dude, all this other stuff. photos come out. He'd been out hanging with them. Then when they put him on, he said, "Oh, yeah, well, actually, I did go. Me and my family and my kids, and we went on vacation." And so another lie. So as he got busted in a lie, they tried to delete the photos of him and Epstein. So the walls caving in. They're scrubbing history, trying to delete photos and all this other madness. I think it was time for make no mistake about it, for him to sit back and say, "Well, you know what? We gotta bury this, man. Drop a bomb." Okay, I'll see y'all later. So a new distraction, a new way to cover up what could be an even more global scandal, which is already is, but what better way for it? Because we're seeing the redactions of his name and photos and everything else, for him getting removed out of this. Speaking about Agent Orange, now his top economic advisor, they tried to delete the photo, but they put it back. Look, the Democratic and Republican lawmakers are calling on Donald Trump's top economic advisor to testify over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein after a new photo from the Department of Justice files emerged. The photo purports to show Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick alongside Epstein and three other unidentified individuals on the tropical island. Republican Representative Thomas Massey, who has spearheaded the release of Epstein files, called on the DOJ to explain why the photo had reportedly been deleted from the department's website. I'm sure there's a good reason for this. The DOJ needs to tell Congress who pulled the file down so we can ask them, Massey wrote on X in response to the image. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Lutnick has not been accused of any wrongdoing. Of course, outside of lying. I guess that's not wrong in Esau's eyes. No, there's nothing wrong with lying in his eyes. Oh, look at your boy, man. He came clean. Bill Gates admits he had 2 affairs with Russian women and apologized to the staff over Jeffrey Epstein times. Look at it. He says, "I did nothing illicit. I saw nothing illicit." Meanwhile, he was ordering up antibiotics for his rib as he's bringing home diseases. But he said he did nothing illicit. He just admitted he had 2 affairs with Russian women, but he said he did nothing illicit. One lie. Wait a minute. What's that quote? I think it's either Joseph Goebbels or it's Hitler. What's he saying? Let me see. No, it was Goebbels. There you go. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Yeah. This is one of your man Hitler's top generals and torturers, right? But this is how Esau lives, man. You tell a big enough lie, you keep repeating it. The Jews are white, the Jews are white, African American, black, Native American, Hispanic, nigga, wetback, spick. That's who you are. The Bible, you have no connection with the Bible. The laws are done away with. All of the above. Now, see, here they attributing it to him. I don't know. One of them said it. Came out of one of the forked-tongued mouths of these demons, but there you go. So when just like with what's the name, man, they eventually start believing their own lies. He sits back and said, first he sit back saying he knew him, but he regrets having any, relations with him, but it was strictly business and all this other stuff. Now you coming to find out when your wife pops out and says, "Man, I had to get up out of there. I'm saddened by this news." Then the word comes out, oh, he caught the clap or he caught some sort of disease from some Russian hookers. He was quiet on that. Nah, that's lies. Now you got to come clean. Yeah, I did have 2 affairs with some Russian women, but I didn't do nothing illicit. What does illicit mean? Maybe he's hiding behind language. Let's see. Improperly formed. Okay. Not permitted or allowed. Not sanctioned or customed by law, improper or unlawful. Oh, so he's saying he didn't do anything unlawful. He didn't break any laws, in other words, right? He didn't break any laws. I can't tell. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, so Gates has admitted he had 2 affairs with Russian women while married to his now ex-wife Melinda French Gates, and issued a groveling apology for his links with convicted PDF file Jeffrey Epstein. Gates said when he told staffers at his foundation on Tuesday that he flew on private jet with the disgraced financier and spent time with them in the U.S. and abroad, but didn't participate in any crime, according to Wall Street Journal. Of course, you're gonna say that. I did nothing illicit. I saw nothing illicit. Of course, you didn't. Gates said in the town hall meeting, to be clear, I never spent any time with the victims, the women around him. Gates first met Epstein in 2011. The women around him. So you trying to tell me, man, you pulled these little Western women without his assistance? He didn't facilitate this meeting up with these women? You got that much game, man. Bill Gates is that big old player, man, that, he didn't need help getting hooked up with these women. Believe that if you want to. Gates first met Epstein in 2011, which was after the financier's Florida conviction for procuring a child for prostitution, and continued to socialize with him. Yeah. You read that right. Epstein first got prosecuted in 2008. 3 years later, Bill Gates says, man, that's a cool guy to hang out with, man. I'm going to go kick it with him. He got all the hoes. Apparently. The billionaires always deny wrongdoing over his Epstein links, but came clean about alleged affairs during his time with French Gates, who filed for divorce in 2021, ending their 27-year marriage. So of course, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. They're lying. And then you end up got to come clean, man. Former Norway Prime Minister attempts suicide after Epstein link raid, corruption charges report. So you see what's going on over there in Europe, man. They headhunted for Prince Andrew. Who was it? Somebody else, another high official over there in France. They got caught slipping. Now Norway Prime Minister, he tried to off himself because of his ties. I mean, Lord knows what was going on. And if you got access to them emails and to the files and to the pictures, you've seen a lot of the debauchery, man, and the demonic occult type satanic practices, worships, things that they was doing, the spirit cooking, all of that. Prime Minister of Norway, Prime Minister Thorbjørn Jagland, was hospitalized a week ago after a failed suicide attempt, days after he was charged with, quote, gross corruption, after police probe into his ties with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The local outlet Netter, however you pronounced it, the header reports Jagland, 75, who gave Barack Obama a Nobel Peace Prize less than 9 months into his presidency, was charged on February 12th after police carried out an extensive search of his properties, including apartments in Oslo and in Risør. This is what these guys is up to, man. So Gates trying to come clean. They trying to, off themselves. Epstein's file claim another scalp. President of World Economic Forum quits following speculation over links to the PDF file. Now you see why it was bombs away. Who knows whatever else was going to start coming out. Now we need a whole new distraction, man. Forget about the file. The same way that, we done forgot about Venezuela. We forgot about Maduro. They're talking about Cuba is getting ready to face a dark zero moment where they just will have no power, food, energy, water, and everything is going to hell for them. Or just forget about all of that stuff, man. These are all things that, we're seeing distractionary are being utilized to take away. You know, it's like I said with the whole movie plot of Wag the Dog, where the president got caught in a sexual scandal, and they had to create a fake war to distract the public, so that he can have a negotiating talks with China. And not this definitely ain't a fake war, but it's definitely a war that started to avoid further talks about a scandal. If you haven't seen Wag the Dog, highly recommend it. Look, photo of Lutnick on Epstein Island removed from Justice Department files are now restored. Oh, so clearly somebody took it off, and now once they got called out on it, it was like, oh, put it back, we got busted. Put it back. There's so much damn deceit going on with this whole thing, man. It's not even funny, man. And Esau getting his hand caught in the cookie jar multiple times, man. He just keeps throwing on another lie to cover up that lie, and another lie to cover up that lie. Hey, you know what? Launch a bomb. Shit, get the heat off of us. This is what they're doing. But when we talk about the downfall of America, we talk about this being under Satan's authority, the USA. We keep talking about the mother of harlots and the spirit of every unclean and hateful bird rest in this place, man. The spirit of Sodom and Egypt and everything up, man. We're called everything but a child of God, and we're called a hate group, of extremists, and you know, all this other stuff. But meanwhile, everything we're saying is true. And regardless of how you want to splice it, people are all coming around in their senses saying the same thing, but they don't want to admit the whole final truth, which is salvation is coming to the children of Israel, and all of this has to take place so that blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics can be restored back into our rightful order. They rather make up everything else and just talk about, oh, the bad pedophile, the demonic forces running the earth. Yeah, keep going, and how does this all end? As we went back to the beginning, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed with it. Yeah. Put the whole puzzle together and submit yourself to the word of the Lord. We know what happened in Mexico, man. Mayhem rocks Mexico after most wanted cartel boss was killed, and that came from, apparently alleged intelligences given to the Mexican military from America. So, he put the dice on the table and said, look, I got two options. I can either kick a war off in Mexico and our neighboring country, or we can just get cracking over there in Iran. Iran gave him the middle finger. Trump said, okay, boom, we're going to do that. Mexico was already lit earlier in the week, because what's that going to do? Let a few Americans get killed over there in Puerto Vallarta, Acapulco, or wherever, and they're going to say, look, see what happened with the drug cartel? See why I told you we need to go and invade over there? See why I had to do what I had to do over there in Venezuela? We're going to go get some troops down there. They're already talking about, man, the cartels got weapons, U.S. grade weapons that they got sold back to them from Ukraine. They got RPGs, they got all kind of damn military weapons. Remember Operation Fast and Furious with Obama, where they was selling guns to the cartels and saying that they were going to track them down so that they can, make arrests and find where the cartels are hiding in the tunnels and everything else. Meanwhile, they was giving them the damn weapons, man. So we see what happened down there, man. They was already talking about the violence maybe spilling over across the border down to San Diego, maybe Texas. So far, none of that's happened. This big news with Iran and Israel and the U.S. is going to dwarf the cartel wars going down there in Mexico. And I've been saying this for years on end, that when we talk about wars and rumors of wars, I always included the cartel wars in Mexico and in other countries, because I remember reading a report, man. They said that from 2006 to 2016, I think they said 60,000 people or 30,000 people have died because of cartel violence. I mean, that's warlike. Let me see if I can find that. I remember seeing this report in 2016. In 10 years. Look at that. I don't know what this is 2024. They're saying 400,000 people have lost their lives since 2006 as a direct result of the war on drugs. I definitely didn't see that one. Now down here, they're talking about 20,000 people. All I know is, yeah, here you go. 22,700 dead since 2006. Okay, so my memory based upon the numbers, you might as well say anywhere between, now they talking about 234,960 people died. Listen, you can say 30,000, you can say 235,000 people, regardless of the fact, you're talking epic numbers of people dead through the cartel violence and through drug wars. So I've always included them with the wars and rumors of wars because I knew the numbers that was going on. And America is at the helm of it all. You know, best believe America is involved with the trade. They're allowing things, you know, drugs passing the borders. They're talking about fighting fentanyl. You know, they know that China is one of the bigger imports, or they're involved with the fentanyl trade. You know, all of that stuff, man. They let stuff go so that they can continue on with their own political interests and money laundering. So this was a whole nother move, man. They took him down. You know, the cartels is like a hydra, just like America, man. There's going to be another head that jumps up in there. But this was a play that they was going to probably use to utilize a means for them to go in there and take control of that whole region and trade. Because remember, he said Mexico is next. And the president of Mexico, Sheinbaum, the small hat, she said, you ain't coming over here and we ain't with it. Stay up out of here. So now they got to, you know, find a way to get up in there. Americans trapped in Puerto Vallarta tell families where to find their wills as cartel violence kills 14. Resorts run out of food in Cancun. Tourists are ordered to shelter in place as mayhem spreads. Yeah, right on time. You know, these are the hot spots, man, for people running from the winter weather, planning their vacations, their honeymoons, and everything else, man. And now they over there stuck, no food, jacked up, in the middle of a war. As America said, here, let me drop a dime over here. Here's the intelligence that you're going to need to go ahead and find the guy. And now things have turned upside down over there, right? So TJ, man, you know, from, I don't know what the mileage is, TJ to San Diego, that's the border between, in California. I don't know that there's been some, in times past in the years, man, brothers have been down there teaching on the border of TJ, you know, in times past, you know, we've been down there teaching down at TJ, man. It's a simple walk across the border, man. You can walk from San Diego, the lower ends of San Diego, over into TJ and be in Mexico. So it's that close to spilling over here, but they ain't gonna come over here, man. The cartels know their limitations. America will go back. It's crazy if they did anything substantial. Here, you know, here they go talking about the threats of narco terrorists unleash hell into a border city. So, you know, because of the activity that was jumping off down there in TJ, right? They were saying, "Oh, narco terrorism," because that's what they use. It's a terrorist situation because of the drugs, and that's where Trump can go ahead and use that terrorist card to do what he wants to do under emergency authorization. So as of right now, ain't nothing spilled over. And that was as of 4 days ago, as far as I know. Here's another bigger issue too. We know the primaries is coming up in November. He's been losing the grasp on popularity, power, favoritism within his party. The MAGA, movement is divided and jacked up, right? So he knows a loss of power is in jeopardy. Could this be another reason why he said, "Hey, man, let the bombs loose, let it go"? You dig what I'm saying? Because now he's been already talking about, he keeps been flooding the internet and his Truth Social talking about, remember 2020, the Democrats stole the election from me. We can't let them do it again. We might have to seize the voting booths and all this other stuff. So he's so paranoid about the November primaries that he is looking at every opportunity to making sure that he can secure the House come November, because he knows this ain't looking good for him right now. So could war now thwart any, electoral issues in November? Could he push the panic button for that? I believe so. Look, seeking executive power over elections is urged to declare an emergency. Pro-Trump activists who say they are in coordination with the White House are circulating a 17-page draft executive order that claims China interfered in the 2020 election as a basis to declare a national emergency that would unlock extraordinary presidential power in voting. I thought they said it was, who was it? They said Russia was colluding for him. China was colluding for slow Biden. I mean, let's knock it off. Again, dirty politics, man, they all doing the same thing. Trump has repeatedly previewed a plan to mandate voter ID and ban mail ballots in November midterm elections, and activists expect that draft will figure into Trump's promised executive order on the issue. The White House declined to elaborate on Trump's plans. Under the Constitution, it's the legislatures and states that really control how a state conducts its elections, and the president doesn't have any power to do that, said Peter Tickton, a Florida lawyer who was advocating for the draft executive order. Tickton attended the New York Military Academy with Trump as part of his legal team that filed an unsuccessful 2022 lawsuit accusing Democrats of conspiring to damage him with the allegations that 2016 colluded with Russia. Right. So we see he's paranoid about these elections coming up, these primary elections, man. He's pulling out all the stops. Mandating voter IDs, wanting to ban mail-in ballots, starting a war on two fronts damn near, crashing economies. Who knows what else he got under his sleeves, man. People's getting sick left and right. Chemtrails is getting sprayed all over the place. They had some chemtrails, man, a couple weeks back, and it was dawning towards the evening, man. And me and Alada was looking up, and we was noticing it. Just Monica, we was all seeing them up in the sky, and there was a bright light in between one of these particular clouds, and it wasn't the sun. And I said, "Damn, we should have filmed this." I said, "It probably would have went viral, man. We filmed this thing." I don't know what the hell he did up there, what was going on, but they had the normal streaks and all of that. But there was one particular little cloud that had a bright light in the middle of it. And I was like, "Man, what is in there, man? What's he got going on in there? What is that?" And since we're not so attached to the phones and thinking about going live and viral all the time, we wasn't even thinking about it. After the fact, I was like, "Man, we should have filmed that," because that was cold. But they spraying stuff in the air, man. They tampering with the food. We know he got a number of different damn viruses locked away, ready to unleash him. Who knows what he's gonna do to try to, secure the House and its power structure and its power base come November. In other news, man, Peter Thiel and other tech billionaires are publicly shielding their children from the products that made them rich. Right. So we've heard, Steve Jobs and all them saying that they don't let their children have technology. They don't let their children have phones and tablets and all that other stuff, man. It's like what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander, man. What they give us is the poison that they create, and they sit back and profiteer off it. And they saying, "Don't touch that. Get off of that. 15 minutes of screen time only, honey. Nope, put that away. Nope, no phones in the house. Nope." And meanwhile, we're sitting back in a dopamine, stupor, addicted to screen time. You know, let's read this real quick. Despite building an increasingly screen-focused world, billionaire tech leaders are keeping their own children away from the tech that they help create. Why is that? That alone should tell you something. Man. If the creators of this particular tech is saying, give it to them, you stay away from it. This is not good for you. This is gonna destroy you. This is good. That should let you know that there's dangers within the tech now. The studies that they've done studies alone about dopamine and screen time. And the dopamine is like the excitotoxins in your brain, man, that give you like fulfillment and pleasure and all of that, right? Now, screen time is talking about how long you're on the screen. So you know how you get caught up doom scrolling on Instagram, Facebook Reels, what do you call it? YouTube Shorts, all constantly flipping. Before you know it, damn near hour, 2 hours and pass by. You're like, damn, what the hell? Because you're constantly looking for further, satisfaction, further reward, further understanding, further whatever. And this is what creates addictive. Here you go. Screen time can lead to increased dopamine released in the brain, which is associated with pleasure and reward. However, excessive screen use can desensitize the brain's reward system, making it harder to feel pleasure from everyday activities and potentially leading to addictive behaviors. Yeah, because guess what? This is where you get the incel, movement. Over there in Japan and China, they ain't trying to marry women no more. They got sex bots. They, got AI girlfriends. Real life no longer exists to them. This is why people are, reacting and making all their content is on the internet. This is how they make their money. People are bury themselves behind keyboards and screens because that becomes their new reality. Everyday activities they're not sensitive to that anymore. It doesn't exist to them anymore. They don't find any pleasure in real life anymore. And then what? It creates addictive behavior. This is why you got the addictions to porn. You got the addictions to, gambling. You notice all these damn sports betting websites and everything else. People constantly trying to get paid. This is where all of these things, it all lines up. The fornication, the adultery, the dating websites and everything else, the hookup culture, the DM and dropping lines in the DM, the beauty standards getting set up, women feeling insecure. So they got to go out there and they got to get the BBLs and the fake boobs and the hair, the lashes, they using filters to, make their face look a little different. And the men too. It completely changes the mentality and changes how people are operating in the earth. And the creators of this know it. They know what they created. And they saying, kids, stay off of that. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice. The Social Dilemma on Netflix is a good representation of what exactly I'm talking about. They're talking about the Social Dilemma on Netflix. If you got it, if you haven't seen it, you got to watch it because that will help tame your understanding regarding the internet, the purpose behind it, the natures in which it can bring out of you that you probably didn't think, oh, I ain't good. Listen, just give it a shot and you can see what they drum it up, man. When the scriptures talk about, in one example, Romans 1, which said they worship the creature more than the creator. That's the essences of where people are shifting their belief systems, their desires. They go to the beast and the beast system for all their desires, their pleasures, for everything that they need and want, rather than the Most High. As far as 2010, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs told the New York Times reporter his kids never use an iPad and that we limit how much technology our kids use at home. Yeah, because he knows they're going to turn into the wirehead, dumbed down drones. Since then, the trend of Silicon Valley billionaires keeping their families away from technology has become even more pronounced thanks to, in part, to the rise of social media and the short form video. Yeah, you see kids unaliving themselves over videos and bullying, online bullying, and all kind of stuff, right? Social media, bringing in depression, get people scrolling through comments and overly sensitive to what people are saying, and comeback videos and revenge porn, and this is all stuff that they know they created. They created this whole playground of iniquity and curiosity and confusion, and people get in there, man, and the rabbit holes get deep. That's why, I always said, man, the internet is good, but it has back doors and traps. It's a gift and a curse. It's been one of the primary ways that this truth has spread throughout the four corners of the earth, and awakening up of the elect and Israel rising up. But at the same time, it's caused mass confusion. It's caused breakups, splits, fights, inner turmoil. It's caused, disinformation. It's done a whole lot, man. We just got to be careful about what's going on, because you got to take notice. I remember, what was it, maybe 2014 or something like that, when I seen the head of the FBI talk about cover up your cameras. He said, I'll cover up my cameras on all my stuff, because I know that the NSA is what. And then Snowden comes out and is like, yeah, they're watching, through your cameras and TV. I immediately start covering up all my stuff. For however much that can help and do, okay, cool. Maybe they can't see, but they definitely listening, because, you can turn your microphone off on your phone apps, and you still gonna have a conversation. Next thing you know, an ad is popping up on your phone, telling you what you were just talking about. So here they are saying that they don't want their kids on the tech, but here we are. And they already got, addicted zombies, man. We all are in line, waiting for the next fix, waiting for the next headline, waiting for the. And I'm not gonna be hypocritical. Here we are on the internet. We're on YouTube, right? But you gotta it's the matrix. You gotta get in, use it for what it is, and then get the heck up out of there. Since the trend, okay, let me drop down here. Excessive device use among children has become more common in recent years as busy parents turn to screens to find some peace. Yeah, I've seen kids from 2, 3 years old holding phones, operating it, raising them on the tech is wild. I've seen kids, man, looking at, let's say we're playing a video, or a video's playing on the screen, and it's a YouTube video, and you see how you can skip an ad. I've seen kids go up to the TV and press the damn screen on the TV, thinking it's the same as a tablet or a phone, thinking that they're gonna skip the ad, because they're raised on the tech, man. Mama needs some peace time. Hey, shut up here. Where's your tablet? Get your tablet out. Get on the game. If it's educational stuff, if stuff is gonna help them, that's cool. If it's time they want to watch a movie, cool. When my kids was young, and I'm dating myself, we had a little DVD player. We go on little road trips or going anywhere. Yeah, they pop in DVDs. They watch movies. But the tech, they wasn't getting the tech and all that other stuff, man. Our kids didn't get phones until they was in high school. Actually, no, middle school. Yeah, middle school. They definitely. My oldest had a phone, and he had to hold it down for both of them. But yeah, and the tech on that was low key. I don't remember. I think we had like minute plan phones, like the little burner phones we can get from Walmart, like that. But you can't. It's eventual, man. They gonna expand and get into the way of the world and what was laid out there, man. You just got to be wise, man. That's the most I can say. And just watch as much as you can over the content and the things that they're being exposed to, because it's a whole, like I said, there's a whole playground of stuff out there, man, that people just aren't consciously aware of. They're just looking at it as, here, learn here, take this, leave me alone. And you can't do that. Because if your enemy is saying, we don't even have it in our house like that, then you damn sure should be following suit. They created it. They know what the problem is. They know what the danger is. Look at this. YouTube co-founder Steve Chen said at a talk at the Standard Graduate School of Business last year that he wouldn't want his kids consuming only short form content, noting that it might be better to limit kids to videos longer than 15 minutes. So he's saying he's not even, he don't want his kids watching nothing longer than 15 minutes. Co-founder of Google. Excuse me, of YouTube. Go figure. A little young Edomite man got caught trying to break into Mar-a-Lago. He got laid down. So JD Vance's house got hammered. Armed man broke into Mar-a-Lago, got laid down. So we're seeing here, man, even the presidents and vice presidents' homes are getting violated. This is how much closer, the threat of civil war and all this, everything is on the table right now. And it's just heating up more and more. Look at this guy, man. This is another cat, man, that they trying to say is a leading candidate for the presidential race of 2028, man. Gavin Newsom. And mind you, after that presidential what Trump had State of the Union address, I forgot what news station it was. I think it was CNN, or it might have been Fox. I can't remember. They did a poll about the leading Democratic potential electees to run for president, and they said, man, the approval ratings has never been so low. Like the next potential person on the Democratic side, basically, even their prospects of being able to run is very low. This guy, he was one of them. Him, what's the 10 tribe sister's name? Ocasio-Cortez. I forgot her first name, but it was him, her, Kamala rerunning again. I mean, it was a joke. They was like 5%, 10%, 20%. They was like, we've never seen this so low as far as the hope of the Democrats. Now, see what he says. Gavin Newsom sparks furious backlash after attempting to appeal to black voters by claiming he can't read. I'm like you. Let that sink in for you Negroes, man, who love them some Democrats. Love them some good old white folk who care about you. Now, he said, I can't read. This how they really feel about you, man. Leave it to them, and they constantly gonna tell you and help you identify who you are. Remember when Slow Biden said, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black? Remember when Hillary Clinton ran around talking about how she got hot sauce in her purse like you niggas love to have? This is what they do. Gavin Newsom is facing fury over his latest comments attempting to appeal to black voters. Newsom attended an event in Atlanta, Georgia on Sunday to promote his memoir, Young Man in a Hurry, as speculation grows that he may run for president in 2028. The California governor was asked about his lifelong struggle with dyslexia, to which he responded, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. You've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Cover it up. Oh, implying, he's got learning disabilities. So I'm just like you niggas, man. I got trouble learning too. I'm trying to impress this on you. I can't read a speech. Let me clean that up. I can't read a speech. You know what I'm talking about, huh, nigga? You can't read either. This is who they try to promote to be the next 2028 president. He may have already shot himself in the foot, but Negroes got short-term memory, man, and they will choose the lesser of two evils. They will say, man, we can't, the hell with Trump and the Republicans, man. I don't want no more Republicans. I'm voting Democrat again. as they constantly get flip-flop in his washing machine of politics. One thing I'll give Nicki Minaj is she called it out. As I don't know how she's trying to get herself involved in politics. She been riding around parading with Agent Orange, and now she's called out Newsom. I gotta call a spade a spade. Rapper Nicki Minaj, an outspoken supporter of Donald Trump, responded to the clip by claiming Newsom was trying to appeal to black voters by telling them how stupid he is and that he can't read. Yeah, she was right. He's implying that I'm just like you. I got low SAT scores. I can't read speeches. And I got dyslexia. Everything looked backwards to me. Good Lord, man. The devil just keeps coming out of, the snake keeps peeling off more layers of the skin, man, until you recognize that there's scales and a forked tongue flapping at you. You won't get it. I mean, how many times is the so-called women got to keep revealing itself to it? Oh, yeah, I'm a PDF file. I love kids. I love rape, murder. I love to destroy, kill, maim, and lie. And everything. One layer peeled off. Well, there's still some good ones. Hey, I'm dyslexic. I've got problems reading. I'm just like you. I got low SAT scores, nigga. We the same. Oh, another layer peeled out. But they're still great people. I don't understand. They should get salvation like that. Christ, Trump said, I'm not going to heaven. I don't believe in Christianity. I'm not a Christian. But they're good people. I'm holding a sponsor for kids. And matter of fact, did you bomb the school for the girls? Yeah, I got a fundraiser at the spot right now over here in Mar-a-Lago, man, for kids. We're gonna raise, but at the same time, I want you to bomb some kids over there in Iraq. Make sure you wipe them out. Okay. Drugs is flying all over the place, man. Venezuela, We got to take out this crucial, vital narco-terrorist dictator. Take him out. And meanwhile, Oliver North, CIA, Rick Ross, drug corruption, Gary Webb. Remember that? Drugs in the communities coming from the CIA. Iran-Contra scandal, selling drugs for guns. Oh, okay. More layers get peeled off, man, but our people just don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. I've said this until I'm blue in the face, man, and I'm finding articles that's only supporting it. Remember, I've always said, man, China is the guinea pig, man. They're the beta test. They use them for everything from the surveillance to the child population, global, what do you call it? Population control, the idol worship, the defilement of the people, all of that stuff, man, that we see, the technology overthrows, being ran by dictatorship, living in coffin micro apartments. You dig what I'm saying? Slave labor, and now through the influence of social media and everything else, everyday Americans are going all in on the Chinese lifestyle. Oh, now they want to live like Chinese. They want to be Moab. So what comes along with that? The mentality. Yeah, less is more. Yes, we need more time for meditation. Yeah, go ahead and no more kids. We don't need kids. You understand what I'm saying? I love to be surveilled. The social credit score system is a good idea. I think this is great. Buddha bless you. It's not a game, man. They know exactly what they're doing. Now, look at it. It's not just Labubas. People are going crazy for congee, tai chi, and boiled apples, leaving many Chinese Americans confused. And Moab sitting back looking like, what is this? What now y'all want to be like us? Noah Bryan spent 41 years identifying as African American. Yeah, this is infecting you Negroes too. This year she became Chinese. Can you imagine the folly? This is like, what's her name? What's her name? Doziak? Remember that white woman said she was black and then she got busted? She was lying. She's working for the NAACP, I believe. She was calling herself trans black. So now you can not only can you transition from one sex to the other, you can transition from one ethnicity to another now. So I guess Noah Bryant now, she's trans Chinese. 41 years she was black. Now she says she's going to become Chinese. Inspired by viral videos on social media, there it goes. Bryant dragged her husband and 2 children to their local Asian grocery store in Austin, Texas. She asked ChatGPT which Chinese pantry staples she should buy, and spent around $200 stocking up on soy sauce, goji berries, and other ingredients. Allowing AI to run your damn household and tell you how to transition into being Chinese. And dragged her husband. Shame on that lazy loaf of a man of it. All right, let me calm down. Goji berries and other ingredients. She told ChatGPT, I want to become a Chinese baddie. She said, Brian, a stay-at-home mom. She ain't got else to do but chat with ChatGPT and scrolling online all damn day. And now wants to become a Chinese baddie. At 41. Married. Chinese baddie. I've yet to see a Chinese baddie. Anyway, these days she starts her mornings with warm herbal tea. Congee is her go-to meal. She wears slippers around the house and wants to try acupuncture next. Across the U.S. and Western world, non-Chinese people are embracing Chinese lifestyles, and Gen Z parlance, they're China maxing, becoming the most Chinese they can be. You can't make this shit up, man. Pardon the French, but it is what it is. This is wild. Beyond wild, man. Again, this goes back to what we just got through reading about the dopamine and the reality not being good enough, that people are going crazy online, man, looking for more excitement, looking for more addictive behavior, looking for more things to spark and stimulate them. So now I got to the point, man, you want to be a damn gook, man. A Moabite, a China maxing. Good Lord. We're in trouble. I did have one other. Let me see if I got it on here, man. Because there was another article I had. They were talking about the benefits of Tai Chi, and everybody want to do Tai Chi now. It might be on this PowerPoint. I can't remember. But let me get this one too. Jim Ferguson. Here's something else, man. We need to talk about. Global speech control agenda. There you go. The United States is now openly calling for coordinated global action to police what it labels disinformation and hate speech online. Let that sink in. An unelected international body with no democratic mandate over sovereign citizens is proposing frameworks to regulate what billions of people are allowed to say, share, and believe on digital platforms. You want to know what we're talking about? Global policing, freedom of speech, all that other stuff, man, getting regulated, all being consolidated into one global system. Everybody's already into the tech. Everybody got digital, they trying to get the digital IDs, digital currencies, digital everything, right? And now they're going to regulate what you can and can't say. Let them. Here they are talking about at the World Economic Forum, Antonio Guterres.
Digital platforms are being misused. Digital platforms are being misused to subvert science and spread disinformation and hate to billions of people. This clear and present global threat demands clear and coordinated global action. Our policy brief on information integrity on digital platforms puts forward a framework for a concerned international response.
So you see here, man, the United Nations is already trying to line up a global policing to what? Subvert science. Look at it. Digital platforms are being misused to subvert science and spread hate. How are you going to subvert science? Oh, you obviously got to be taking a biblical approach. Who else is opposing science more than the biblical stance? From the Big Bang to the true creational story, history, prophecy, judgment, archaeology, everything else that we come with through the biblical narrative, they're saying this is all being used to subvert science. Like, you don't want to follow the sciences of the white man anymore? No. And essentially, not only just the physical forms of science, but also science is knowledge. And they said to spread hate. So guess who that could be aimed at? Guess who can be weaponized against? You already got labels on us. So this is part of the distractionary thing too. Oh yeah, we got the war jumping off. We got all these other things jumping off. Meanwhile, they're in the background putting together plans on how they're going to regulate and control the internet and say what you can and can't say, ban you, track you down, have you arrested. You're seeing people already getting arrested online for supporting particular causes, speaking out against MAGA and all that other stuff, man. There it goes. Now, a couple more before we close out. I know it's been a long one, but we got it. Hey, man, there's a lot going on the earth. What you want? The billionaire Trump supporter who will soon own the news. There you go. Larry Ellison looking to control the media. Just bought Time Warner and all these particular conglomerates. You know, it's only 6 companies, man, that control everything you see, watch, hear, the whole nine. A small conglomerate, man, all ran by these same people. So-called white man, you dealing with Job 9:24, them being in earth being in control of the hand of the wicked, right? Larry Ellison, also on the Trump board, with Oracle, which was a big tech agency that got busted, had to pay out $115 million for illegally hoarding people's information and monitoring them. You got Palantir, you got Oracle, you got Google, Google, OpenAI, all of them part of the tech sector that's being ran by Agent Orange. Larry Ellison is already a major stakeholder in CBS and Paramount. Now CNN and HBO are in his sights, and the big TikTok deal is close. If all goes as anticipated, this tech billionaire, already one of the richest men in the world and founder of Oracle, is poised at 81 to become one of the most powerful media and entertainment moguls America has ever seen. Let's break this down a little bit more simple. See this grid right here? This is how media is ran and who's running everything, right? All of them is ran by the so-called white man. He's in control of everything you see, hear, consume, you name it. Larry Ellison and his people, man, they just ended up, I believe, the deal has been finalized. They, as of yesterday, it was like, it ain't final yet. I think Netflix at one point they was in the bidding to try to purchase Paramount and Warner Production, but they bailed out. So at this point, you just got to understand he's got stakes in CBS. Where is it? He's already got CBS, Paramount, CNN, HBO is next. According to the reports, he just bought all of these. When he bought Time Warner, he bought all of this. So Cartoon Network, TBS, TNT, CNN, HBO, AOL, the NCAA, college basketball, NBA.com, Sports Illustrated, People, that all comes with the purchase, right? But when you see all these, man, Fox, they own FX, National Geographic, Fox News Station, 20th Century Fox, all of this, right? Hulu, they own all this. Sony, they own here down here. Game Show Network, Paramount, Columbia Pictures, all that. Viacom, they own BET, MTV, Nickelodeon, VH1, all that. There was a what was it? I forgot. Something went down, and it was talking about black damn it, I forgot what it was. Anyway, if anybody is wondering, man, who doesn't know already, BET is not an independently owned network, man. BET got bought out by Viacom years ago. Matter of fact, they got bought out by MTV first and then Viacom. So BET ain't been quote unquote black ran and owned, or I should say black owned, in decades. White man still got the final say so and the keys to BET. Let's not get it twisted. Their parent company and primary master is Viacom. Just because they letting Tyler Perry get all his shows off on there and whatever other little shows they got on there and all the other black ignorant stuff they got happening, it's being ran accordingly. Disney, they own ESPN, ABC, the Marvel networks, A&E, Hulu, all this, Comcast, etc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies own all the media. All right. And Larry Ellison is closing in on trying to monopolize and get more of his grubby hands on more control over the media. And with that being said, Agent Orange had already told him, CNN, I want only positive. I want only positive stuff being said about me. Fox is already on his scrotum sack. You dig what I'm saying? So all he needs, CNN, I need them on board. And they're all worried about getting fired. And anybody that was anti-Trump, they all running scared. So monopoly on deck. Last one before we close out, right? Pay attention to this because this shows you that these uninspired. Let me get one classic scripture. One classic scripture. No salt having either, man. Trying to teach from our book. Psalms 147, right? 19 to 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. So the Most High said he has only shown his word to Jacob, the statutes, the judgments, meaning the prophecies, the commandments, everything's only been shown to the children of Jacob. He have not dealt so with any nation. So no other nation has the spiritual capacity to retain, teach, or authorize anything coming out the Bible because the Lord didn't give it to them. He hasn't been dealing with them in the same fashion. And as for judgments, they have not known them. This is why they, come up missing with prophecies and judgments like Harold Camping back in 2010 said that the world was going to end and Christ was coming, and amongst many of these other false prophets been running around here. These prosperity, glitter bug preachers running around talking about it's all about money. They don't understand the judgment of the Most High. Not my Jesus. God loves everybody. He wouldn't kill anybody. That's Satan. Like, they don't know. Praise ye Yahweh. Now, the newly anointed Pope Leo demands priests stop using AI to write sermons over TikTok panic. So if you wondering where these damn uninspired words are coming from, man, they go into damn AI, having AI write these damn sermons for them, and then they go out there and try to theatrically perform them. And I guarantee you, the Catholic Church is not the only Catholic diocese and the popes and the priests out of the Catholic Church aren't the only ones using AI to write their sermons. Guarantee you, some lazy Negroes running around here asking AI to write their new sermon for Sunday, and many others. And you Israelites better be careful too, because a lot of y'all using AI to give breakdowns too. Like, hey, you better be careful. He has to demand the priest to stop using AI to write their sermons. If that doesn't give any more inspiration to get our people about the Catholic Church and not go to mass tomorrow and stay away from them damn crack houses, I don't know what to tell you. The preachers is out here asking AI to tell them what to say. The Spirit of the Lord is not dealing with that. Pope Leo, the 14th, a Chicago native delivered a chilling warning about letting AI write sermons and spending too much time online worrying about likes on social media. Listen, the Catholic Church ain't the only one caught up in that, man. Israelites is too. Let's keep it real. To give a true homily is to share faith, Pope Leo XIV said, adding that artificial intelligence will never be able to share faith. He asked clergy to resist the temptation to prepare homilies with artificial intelligence, adding, like all the muscles in the body, if we do not use them, if we do not move them, they die. The brain needs to be used, so our intelligence must also be exercised a little so as not to lose this capacity, Leo said in a closed-door meeting later published by the Vatican News. I'm gonna stop there. I have some other stuff, man, but I'm gonna stop there for time's sake. I think the point is made, man. I don't want to have information overload. Y'all completely, drowned out, man. Some of y'all done already tuned out, fell asleep, who knows what. But you see what's going on, man. The churches are being ran. The AI is writing the damn sermons. Global war is getting ready to really, get accelerated and take off. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, IQAhmath, man. And interestingly enough, this evening we'll be keeping the Feast of Destruction of Nicanor at sundown, and then tomorrow we also have Feast of Purim, sundown tomorrow and Monday. So if you're not in tune here, I'll be teaching a class over at Believers of the Way this evening. So if you're not subscribed over there, tune in over there. I'll try to get it streaming on our channel as well. But nonetheless, man, all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. A lot going on, man. Stay prayed up. Stay focused, man. Always fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Don't shoot the messenger. Till the next